You're a third-rate reporter, and what you just said is a disgrace, okay?
That was Donald Trump during his COVID-19 presser yesterday, and he was pretty vicious to reporters because one of the big stories was that a new Health and Human Services report indicates that the Trump administration was woefully unprepared and left the country woefully vulnerable to COVID-19. We have now passed more than 12,000 deaths in the U.S. As a result of COVID-19, and Trump doesn't like this new Inspector General report within the Department of Health and Human Services. So it was done by Christy Grimm, who's actually been working for the federal government since 1999. She was appointed by the Trump administration for her current role as the Inspector General in the Health and Human Services Department. And so she and the researchers went and spoke to hospital administrators to see what their experiences have been as a result of Trump's leadership or lack of leadership. And they found that one administrator told Health and Human Services that the supplies the hospitals received won't even last a day. So it was a scathing report. And Trump was asked questions about it by reporters during his presser, and he just absolutely lost it, including on John Carl, a reporter with ABC News. So I have more details of the report for you, Cenk, but I wanted you to jump in.
They looked at the report from 323 hospitals, and it was actually before the virus became even more out of control. The dates on it were March 23rd to March 27th. So this isn't political. They're just simply talking to the hospitals. Do you have what you need or don't you? The hospital isn't going to say, I don't have enough masks when they do to do a gotcha of Donald Trump. They don't have time for that stuff. And so nobody knows who voted for who out of the 323 hospitals that they asked for. They ask them and they say, we have enough masks or we don't have enough masks. And they move on. So these are facts. And that's what an inspector general is supposed to do. They're supposed to uncover facts and see, hey, did we do a good job of responding or didn't we? And it's not to embarrass anyone. Otherwise, the government would never have it. It's to fix things. Hey, here's what went wrong. And this is super important and lives are on the line. So for the next period of time, let's make sure we fix it because we're in the middle of it right now, let alone the next crisis that happens. But Trump doesn't understand that because he thinks, I don't really care about your lives. The only thing that matters is my reputation. So he perceives it as not something to fix, but something to deflect and bury and attack because it dared, in his mind, criticize him.
Exactly. So the report also indicated, again, after interviewing hospital administrators, one health system reported it had received 1,000 masks from the federal and state governments, but it had been expecting a larger resupply. Further, 500 of the masks were for children and therefore unusable for the health system's adult staff. One hospital reported receiving a shipment of 2,300 N95 masks from the state strategic reserve, but the masks were not usable because the elastic bands had dry rotted. And so understandably, I mean, the whole point of doing these coronavirus press conferences is to answer questions that journalists and the general public have about our preparedness, which direction the country is going in. And what you're about to watch is a Fox News reporter asking Trump about this Inspector General report, and just pay attention to the way he treats her.
The number one complaint from those hospitals were severe shortages of testing supplies and a really long wait time. I mean, a week or longer.
And did I hear the word Inspector General? Really? It's wrong. And they'll talk to you about it. It's wrong.
But this is your own government.
Well, where did he come from, the Inspector General? What's his name?
It came from the Inspector General
what's his
report.
name?
I don't know his name off the top
Find me
of
his
my
name.
head.
Let me know, okay? If
But-
you find me his name, I'd appreciate it.
But sir, these are hospitals.
All I can tell you
that
is
do not-
this:
Sir,
we put up on the
these
board.
hospitals-
You're going to ask the Admiral, but
These are
we are
hospitals
doing.
who say that they're waiting a week or longer
Fine.
to get their
speak to
test
the Admiral.
results. Why
But
is
we've
it
done
still
more
taking so
testing
long?
and had more results than any country anywhere in the world. They're doing an incredible job. Now they're all calling us. They want our testing. What are we doing? How do you do the 5-minute test? How do you do the 15-minute test? So give me the name of the Inspector General. Could politics be entered into that?
So he should know the name of the inspector general, who is not a man, actually a woman, Christy Grimm. And the reason why he should know who the inspector general is in the Health and Human Services Department is because he appointed her for that position to be the inspector general. So it's incredible that he just dismisses that question by making it appear as though Christy Grimm is just some partisan hack who's looking to embarrass him, when that is just not the case.
Okay, so first of all, it's your government. Hey, why are you asking a reporter who your inspector general is at HHS? Why don't you ask one of your staffers? I'm not saying you got to know it off the top of your head. What are you asking the reporter for? It's your government. She's supposed to be asking you questions, holding you accountable. That's the job of the press. And he thinks holding you, the president, accountable is unacceptable because he's a wannabe dictator. So in a democracy, we hold our leaders accountable, and our leaders serve us. He's never understood that, doesn't care about it, doesn't want it. He just thinks, you're annoying me with questions about regular human beings who I obviously don't care about. This is all about me, so don't embarrass me. You're Fox News. You're supposed to do as you're told, okay? And try to put me in a positive light, which is near impossible to begin with. But did he seem at all concerned in that answer about the fact that the hospitals have shortages?
Of course not.
No, it's all about, how does it make me look? How does it make me look, right? The reality is, look, you could have a couple of shipments that went awry. You could have some that were in the reserves, and that's why they had dry rot, because they stayed in there too long. They got some masks from 2010. Hey, you know what? That happens sometimes in the middle of an emergency. Those are normal things. But for 323 hospitals overall to report, they've got massive shortages. That is not a thing about Donald Trump. Eventually, I mean, look, it's about him in the sense that he's terrible at this. He cannot manage. He cannot manage. And there should be accountability for that in an election. Okay. But for the moment being, the most important thing is, God damn it, are you going to get him the mask? Are you going to do anything to get him the mask? But he doesn't care about the mask. He doesn't care about the patients or the doctors or the nurses. It's all about him. I can't stand the guy anymore. And I can't see how anybody could look at those press conferences and not think, weak, pathetic, insecure little child.
I think a lot of people do see that. And that's part of the reason why a lot of different news outlets have reconsidered just airing his pressers live. But I do want to get to the final video of John Carl. That was the ABC News reporter that we had shown you a clip of earlier. He wanted to follow up on the Health and Human Services report, and it did not go over well. Take a look.
How long has that person been in government? Could I ask you that?
Did serve in the previous administration.
Oh, you didn't tell me that. Oh, I see. You didn't tell me that, John. You didn't tell me that. Did serve in the previous administration. You mean the Obama administration. Thank you for telling me that. See, there's a typical fake news deal.
You asked me when she was appointed. I told you when she was appointed.
You're a third-rate reporter, and what you just said is a disgrace, okay? You asked me, you said, sir, just got appointed. Take a look at what you said now. I said, when did this person, how long in government? Well, it was appointed in the Obama administration.
So Christy Smith, again, is a nonpartisan, has been working for the federal government since 1999 during the Clinton administration.
And the Bush administration, and Obama, and Trump. She's worked under Republicans and Democrats. So you know why Trump has that assumption? Because that's how he operates. Every single person he's appointed is a hack whose only job is to kiss Donald Trump's ass, not to serve the American people. So he assumes that Obama, Bush, Clinton, they all did the same thing. They appointed lackeys whose job was to grovel at their feet and do their political bidding. The idea of hiring someone because they're competent, it's never crossed Donald Trump's mind. So why would anybody do that? Who cares if they do the job right? The question is, are they going to help me market me, or are they not? So, and he says, oh, you're never going to get anywhere, he said at some point to Jonathan Karl in that exchange. He's a reporter at the White House. As far as reporters go, that's near the top, okay? Now, you could have different opinions on Jonathan Karl on other issues, but to say he's a third-rate reporter who didn't get anywhere, it's not really how it works. He's right there asking the president of the United States a question. So he got somewhere. Look, there's a million legitimate critiques of the national media, and we do it every day on the show. But yelling at a reporter that he's a third-rate reporter because he asked you a question about shortages of medical supplies in the middle of a pandemic is not one of the legitimate critiques of the media. That's just, as usual, being an insecure little brat.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.